afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Kurdish community, I've prepared some slides, and today my task is basically to emphasize why the Kurdish people celebrating Nawroz as well, and recognized as a very important festival for Kurdish people. Regarding our culture is very close when it comes to Nawroz with Afghan, and regarding the landscape, what you have seen in this, almost many similarity between the Afghan and the landscape in Kurdistan. So basically, I would like to cover these points, which today are going to be hearing. General aspects of Nawroz and Nawroz in Kurdish prospect and historical point of view, and how Kurdish celebrating Nawroz in the past, and how the Kurdish people celebrate it now in their homeland in Kurdistan, and how they celebrate in abroad. So basically, just brief idea. It's the first time these four leaders come together to celebrate Nawroz. And as you see, the president of Afghanistan, the president of Iraq, he's a Kurdish, Jalal Talabani, and Iranian president, and Tajik from Tajikistan, and the representative of Turkish government. They all celebrated in the 21st of March. But today I'm going to focus mainly and emphasize why the Kurdish celebrating the Nawroz. I'll talk about our legend. Basically, let me give you a brief history. Zuhal was an evil king who conquered Iran and part of Iraq as well. So he had two snakes, serpents, growing out from his shoulder. And two young men were sacrificed on a daily basis in order to feed the two snakes on his shoulder. And on this basis, two men sacrificed every day. But the guy who was responsible for manslaughtering decided to not do it every day, two men. Tried to mix the brain of the man with the brain of the sheep, and so sacrificing one man and one sheep each day, and saving one man every day. So the people who saved it, they run and they flee to the mountain. And the rescued individuals eventually become the ancestor of the Kurdish. So the Kurdish people, the ancestor of the people who saved their lives and run to the mountain and saved their life. So we are, as a Kurd, believe that we are the ancestor of who saves the life. So our legend Kawa, who was a blacksmith and killed Zuhak, who was a king. Okay, so that's our Kawa, and who killed the king with his hammer, and eventually came into the Faridun state. So Faridun became the king. So the March 20 traditional mark as a day that Kawa defeated Zuhak, and he said to her and set the fire in the mountain as a mark of victory. And basically what we eat during the Nawroz is celebrating, and we have a special meal which is called yaprak in our language and dolma in other languages, and basically it's made of the onion, tomatoes, squash, and basically what you see in here. And hopefully if you want to test it, by the end of this session you're gonna have the dolma. And how Kurdish celebrate in the past. In the past, Kurdish people were run by other and governed by other people in the past. So as you see from the picture, they were run by Arab people and by English in the past, in a few hundred years ago. So basically, we couldn't celebrate in our colorful things. So as you see, in the past, we couldn't have much colorful as we have today. That's a recent picture taken this year, and you see people dancing, gathering, and that's the biggest festival in our country, because everyone coming out and start dancing, and then during the dinner they're gonna have a yaprak and dolma. And as you see from the picture, and fire, which is, as I talked before, the fire is a symbol of victory. So as you see, every year we're gonna set a fire in a high mountain to see that that's an indication of two indications: finishing the winter and starting new year, and secondly, it shows that we celebrating the victory which we did in the past. And how we celebrating abroad, and like here we're organizing events, as you see in other different countries, in America and in Belgium, and we just celebrating and dancing and wearing different clothes and traditional clothes. That's what we do. Okay, thank you very much.